Wilkins Jr. is originally from the great city of Houston, Texas. Curtis attended the University of Texas at San Antonio in the fall of 2007, graduating with a bachelor's in communications in spring 2011. Curtis then pursued educational leadership with a concentration in higher education administration for his master's degree, graduating in the spring of 2013 from UTSA. Getting accepted to UTSA was the best thing to ever happen to Curtis. Although fearful and uncertain about college, Mr. Wilkins excelled. Through student and campus involvement, Curtis truly developed personally. The circle of influence he was able to build through his involvement with peers, faculty, and staff during college was very encouraging. The highlight of his collegiate days was during his time as an orientation leader. This experience is what he credits to be his main transition points. In this role, he learned about himself and his many strengths through the continuous personal discovery and development that came along with the orientation leader training process. Furthermore, being in a role where he could assist in the college transition and matriculation for incoming students was very rewarding for him. Not to mention, Curtis enjoyed being in front of groups where his personality could shine. The experience led Curtis to pursue his career in higher education. Curtis served as a graduate intern for UTSA's Orientation and Family Programs Department during his graduate program, where he was able to gain valuable experiences in many facets of student affairs. After graduating with his master's, Curtis began working for St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas, as a residence hall director. Mr. Wilkins has served in this role for 2 years and manages 6 residence halls, teaches a freshman seminar course, and supervises 15 staff members. During his graduate work and first year in higher education, Curtis has been able to present at conferences, teach classes, and participate in transitional camps and trainings related towards leadership. Mr. Wilkins is looking to start his doctoral studies in organizational leadership this fall in pursuit of a career as a college professor and consultant. Please join me in welcoming Curtis Wilkins.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much, Jessica, for that great introduction. I also want to take the time to thank Orientation and Family Programs for giving me the opportunity to speak at the Orientation Leader Graduation today. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I just want to say thank you. To the orientation leaders, I want to say congratulations on making it this far. You guys made it through the class, you guys made it through intensive training, which I know is long, and you guys are here. So you guys are about to embark on a great journey once the orientation program starts up on Monday. So congratulations, guys. All right. What I would like to do with this is really just take you guys through my experience in orientation as an orientation leader specifically, so that you guys as orientation leaders can take away some of the things that was so inspirational and encouraging for me, in hopes that it will help you on your journey to continue on as an orientation leader. And then I would also like to let the orientation and staff and professional members know that the work that you guys do is meaningful, and it really is impacting the students, family members, as well as the orientation leaders. So it's good to be able to be here and give this presentation. All right. So what I've done is I've created a theme. So this is a moment in time change forever because of the impact that orientation has had on me. And so I take you guys through different times and moments within orientation that I think you guys will get to experience and make the most of. So this is actually me in 2009 when I was sitting in you guys' shoes right there. Somebody took a picture of me, and so that's me. So it's good to be on the other side of the spectrum. So, of course, as an orientation leader, and this is my team, Orange team. And so we were Supreme Team in 2009. We got to be on the planner, the student planner for that year. And so that was great. So as an orientation leader, we do icebreakers, right? We do team builders, and we do all these different fun things to get everybody enjoyed, to get everybody comfortable with coming to the university, with your groups and those things. So real quick, what I want to do is get everybody to stand up. Too long. need one big clap. All right, on the count of 3, I just want one big clap, and then you guys can sit down. All right, 1, 2. Seriously, all right, 1, 2. All right, really. All right, so now we're energized. Now we're ready. All right. So again, this is an opportunity. Icebreakers are for you guys to be comfortable with your groups, with each other, because it's the first time you're going to be interacting with these incoming students as well as family members. So feel free to engage in icebreaking, team builders, and all that good stuff. So this is also a time to enjoy, and it was a great time for me. Orientation leader experience for me was the most fun and enjoyable period of my life, one moment in time. If I were able to put my life in different periods and rank them from most enjoyable to least enjoyable, orientation leader without a doubt would be number 1. So you guys are really about to get to experience that. But there aren't many jobs as a college student that you can have where we encourage you to be sort of this outgoing and this outspoken and spirited person, right? Where you can be energized and enthusiastic about the things that you do, because it's going to come across that way to the students. So you guys are going to get to embark on that. And here's some pictures. A lot of times you see me with my mouth open and stuff like that. Having a good time. That's us doing check-in. Our group transportation station, we used to do this little chant to all the groups, and it was fun. So you guys definitely get to enjoy. But as much as it's a time to have fun, and as much as it's a time to enjoy, it's also a time to work. So I can remember going into the orientation leader process and finding out that there was a class you had to take for a whole semester. And I remember thinking, wait a minute, you have to take a class to have fun? For a whole semester? So I didn't understand how much you had to put into as an orientation leader until I got into the class. And so you guys have been able to experience that, right? You guys had to learn the campus tour, the resources and services that the university provides to the students. You have to learn where certain offices are located, the advising offices, and those things. You also have to do University 101, right? Where you learn the policies and the procedures of the university so that you can present those to the incoming students. So that's a lot of work. And then you also have presentations, you have projects, journals and papers and all that good stuff. And then after the class, you have to do intensive training, right? Where you learn about the intricacies of the actual program and where you need to be during team time and team huddles and all that good stuff. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And now you guys are about to embark on the actual orientation experience. So everything you've been preparing for. And that's where the real work starts. All right? That's where the real work starts. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. Right? You're going to be working from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. You're going to be doing this week after week, different orientation groups all summer long. So it's definitely a lot of work. Something I took from orientation that I talked about in my freshman seminar class, that I talked to my resident assistants about, is the fish philosophy. Okay. These are tenets that I live by, and my favorite one is choose your attitude. And there's a quote in the book that says, sometimes you may not be able to choose the work itself, but you can always choose the way you approach the work. And I truly believe that. With you guys, specifically as orientation leaders, you guys are going to be doing this all summer long, week after week after week. So it can get redundant. But even though it may be orientation program 7 or orientation program number 8 for you, every group that you have, it's going to be their first experience, right? It's going to be their first experience on college campus, probably at UTSA, or maybe they've been done a tour before, something like that. But a lot of them, it's their first time getting introduced to the university. So remember that, guys. You can always choose the way you approach your work, and there's always a choice. And you guys have to remain energized and spirited throughout the entire summer. So of course, to play, make their day, and be there, but great tenets to live by. So along with work, this is also a time to sleep. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a time to sleep, but as I was going through my pictures, I found a lot of pictures of me sleeping during the orientation program, which I know is a no-no. I'm sorry. I know, this is maybe the reason why, you guys can't be in certain sessions and things like that. They don't recognize sleep. So this is one thing not to do. But make sure you guys are getting an adequate amount of sleep because those programs are long, guys. Those programs are long. And you see me, I had a little mohawk during the summer. I kept a towel because it's hot. All right. You guys are also going to get a chance to build friendships. So the people that are sitting here with you guys today, the orientation leaders, you probably started this journey, you probably didn't know them, or maybe you knew a couple of them, and now you feel like you really know them. Well, let me tell you, by the end of the summer, you guys are going to know each other really well. You guys are going to know each other really well. You're going to know each other's strengths and weaknesses. You're going to see them interact with their student groups. You're going to know what ticks them off. You're going to know all these different things about them. You're going to share experiences during a program and even outside of the program, which I want to encourage you guys to make sure you hang out outside of the program as well. But you're definitely going to get to know them. I believe that I can call any orientation leader that I worked with back in 2009 and just ask them to hang out. And I can guarantee that they'll be willing to hang out because of the bond that we share. So remember that, guys. You're around people who have similar interests and those things. So it's good. This picture right here of my card with the citation was Haley, one of the orientation leaders. She thought it would be good to play a prank on me. So I remember getting the envelope. I'm like, I gotta pay $50, and I threw it in my room, and I didn't even look at it for like 2 or 3 days. Then I get on Facebook, and she posted a picture of it. Saying that it was a joke. I'm like, oh, okay, so you thought that was funny. Right? You thought that was funny. But it goes to show how much fun you have in those things. This guy, Juan Carlos Martinez. This guy was the person in class who asked all the questions. So I'm sure there's one of you who's like that. But when the instructor said, are there any last minute questions? Which really means I hope there aren't any questions. He was the person that always raised his hand, and we would all go, always. But we called him JC. But I got partnered with JC during orientation. So he was the person that I did my university one-on-ones with. He was the person that I sometimes did my tours with and some of the nighttime activities and those things. And, long story short, we became like this. Me and him actually, during intensive training, we won sort of the best group for the presentation during university one-on-one. We had this thing where we would tag each other. He would go over academic probation and suspension, dismissal, and then I would come over, get tagged, and go over the 6-drop rule and all these different things. So it was great. And he came into town. I think that was either a grad school or that was last year. I'm not too sure, but it was his birthday, and I was the first person he called, and we hung out. So it goes to show the relationships that you guys will build with these individuals as well with the staff members who work in orientation. So as Jessica alluded to, I was one of those individuals who came into college pretty unsure about how we do. I was sort of at a low academic level coming in. Barely made it through high school. I think I had about a 2.1 or 2.2. I was a person that did just enough to get by. I never really applied myself. And so I remember doing a project on UTSA my senior year. I did a project. And I found out they had a 99% acceptance rate. I said, oh, wait a minute, okay. Well, let me take this SAT. Apply, I should get in, right? And by the way, this picture, that's like the Got Milk commercials, right? And like the magazines, it's like they could be on there. But anyways, so I got in, and I got in on an academic development program, right? ADP is what we call it. I'm not sure if they still have it or not. But I got an academic development, which is for students who don't meet the criteria or the requirements in order to get in. So I was on sort of this probationary status. And in order for me to get off of that status, I had to meet certain guidelines. I had to maintain a certain GPA, throughout my first year. And I remember being nervous about it, frightened about it. Didn't think I would be able to do it because, in high school I never really studied or anything like that. But long story short, I was able to graduate in 4 years and then pursue my master's degree. But the highlight is definitely my experience as an orientation leader. And I joined a fraternity and I did some other things. But my main transition point, like Jessica said, was my experience as an orientation leader, because I had never been a part of any type of job or experience where you're learning about yourself, right? So as much as you're learning about the orientation position and those things, you're also learning about yourself, right? You're going through this personal development where you're doing these assessments, personality assessments, true colors, which I was an orange in 2009. I was still an orange in 2015. I'm always an orange. Although blue is starting to creep, towards the top. So you're doing personality assessments, strengths quests. My top 2 since 2009, all the way until now, has always been woo and positivity. Those are my top 2, and they've remained the same. Every year I take it, graduate school and everything. And so I had never been able to go through anything like that or experience like that. So that really allowed me to approach the rest of my college career with a different mindset, right? And then you're also able to learn from each other, right? Everybody else is going through sort of this developmental process as well, and they're helping build experiences and those things which can ultimately help you with your experience in the learning process that you go through. So I was able to go through a lot of growth, and I credit the staff and the orientation program for that. And then probably the most beneficial thing was the impact that you guys get to make, and the impact that you guys get to leave on those incoming students, also those family members, right? Because they're coming in and they're a little bit nervous as well, just like I was. They're a little bit uncomfortable, not sure how things would go. So you guys are in a role where you can help shape their orientation experience. You help shape their opinions and perceptions about the university, about coming to the university and being successful, about the students that attend the university. You really get to play that role, and so a lot of that is dictated by their experience that they have with you. A quick story I'll share is that I can remember I was walking in McKinney Humanities building, which at the time was HSS, and it was after summer. It was actually after the fall semester. It was like during finals week, and I remember running into one of my students from my group, Triple C's. Curtis's Cotton Candy. And I made everybody, cotton candy, sweetest gold, let me see that titty roll. I made them stand on chairs and all that. So I was the originator of the chants. But so I ran into her, so she was running me down, hey, Curtis. So I'm like, hey, how's it going? I remembered her, but of course I didn't remember her name. You guys will, that'll happen to you. I was at HEB not too long ago. Somebody told me I was an orientation leader. And I remember, I'm like, yeah, that's what you do. But you're dealing with a lot of students. So anyway, so she's like, yeah, I'm like, well, how was your first semester? She was like, well, my first semester was great. I got a 3.5 or something like that. She had some high GPA. And she said, it's all because of you. I sat back and said, no, you did that. You got those grades, you studied for the test, and you put in that work. That has nothing to do with me. She said, well, yeah, you're right. But I was a CAP student. She said she was a CAP student. I'm not sure if we still have CAP or not. But so those are the people who are pretty much partially accepted to UT Austin. And then they have to go to one of the UT system schools for a little while and meet certain guidelines before they can go to UT Austin. So, and they can be a bit of along with their parents. So she said, yeah, I was CAP. And I begged my mom not to make me go to UTSA Orientation. She said I did not want to go to orientation. She said she came in with a bad attitude and just didn't want to be a UTSA, period. She said, during orientation, and after orientation was over, I had changed the whole perspective about coming to UTSA. She said that she was excited about coming, and that she decided not to pursue the CAP program anymore because of her experience at orientation. So I can remember just getting goosebumps, and I remember walking to my car and just kind of replaying the entire summer over in my head and start thinking about the relationships I built, the time I put in, how enjoyable it was, and how many other people I may have impacted in that role too. And that was the moment I first started thinking about pursuing higher education for my career. So you guys are really able to leave a lasting impact and make a difference, guys. And then last thing I'll say is that for the impact part is that April Falon, Miss Mango, so we called her Miss Mango. I'm not too sure why, but first day of class, she stood up and said, hey, my name is April, but my friends call me Miss Mango, so you can just call me Miss Mango. So we said, all right, well, Miss Mango. she was the person who came into orientation pretty timid and shy, and just like me, and she was a part of my team as well, Orange Team, Supreme Team. I really saw her transition and develop throughout the entire process. She came from this person who never spoke up to one of the most vocal people in the group. And I got to see her work with her groups and just transition, and it was awesome. And we had this thing we would do from social drama where we would go, you. She would go, no, curveball, you. We would shake hands and we would pause, like that beat doing social drama. And she actually made a little drawing of me. So you also get to impact each other along with the students and family members that you guys are working with. So from that impact, then we go through this transitional stage, right? I went from ADP student to orientation leader. Now I'm working on a master's degree, and I'm working in orientation family programs as an intern. I remember meeting with Lisa to interview for the internship. She said, all right, well, we'll get you started once school starts up in the fall. And I remember going, okay, all right, great. Then she called me a day or two later, and she said, well, Curtis, look, we're having some transitional things going on in the office, and wondering if you would want to start in the summer. She said, we got, 4 girls coming in from across the nation. And I said, what was it? I said, well, we got 4 girls. I said, all right, so I'm in. Don't count me in. But I had an awesome experience with my interns and people I still talk to this day. And I was really able to kind of take them around San Antonio, and we got to build great bonds. And so the interns, I know you guys are probably close and really getting to know each other, but by the end of the summer, you guys are going to be like this, I guarantee you. And in your position, you're also going to get a chance to really work on your professional development, get to meet with people in other departments and those things. And these people are really here to help you guys out and make sure that you're getting out of the experience what you're looking to get out of. So feel free to ask questions and enjoy. And then I got to supervise the orientation leader. So I went from orientation leader to supervising them, and that was definitely the highlight. Being in a role where I can really have an impact on them in a supervisory role. So I was able to help with their selection process, with their training process, teach the class, and all those different things. And it was enjoyable. So I built great relationships with the student coordinators, team leaders, the orientation leaders, everybody. And in fact, one of them texted me the other day and just, told me how much of an inspiration I was to them. And, so you impacted them as well. So then I got to help with all the logistics of planning for orientation as well as if I was a professional staff member. So I got to help with family programs, the family association. I got to help with new student camps with Jackie. I got to help with a little bit of everything. And from there I was really able to develop professionally. And it's from that experience that I'm able to really pursue my doctoral studies and to be the professional I am today in the work that I do. So I want to thank you guys for that as well. You guys definitely have a special place in my heart, and so thank you. All right, so from transition, and then this is my last day, and I got gifts and those things, congratulations and everything. So from there, it's time to grow, right? It's a time to grow. So I was able to go to a national conference for the first time, my first national professional conference, which was actually in Las Vegas, 5 nights in Las Vegas with Jackie and Lisa. Jackie was actually pregnant at the time with my man Caleb. We had a great time. But I got to participate in the graduate student case study competition, which me and my partner, we won. Even though we did not practice at all. We were supposed to meet a couple times, but we ended up going out with some coworkers, and about, I'll say, probably 10 or 15 minutes before we went over, we kind of went over some stuff, and then we just went for it, and it just flowed. We fed off each other, and I was boarding the plane, and I got a text saying we won. It was great. But that's a picture of me and my family when I got my undergraduate degree and when I got my master's degree, and also a picture of me at St. Mary's. And so, it's really my orientation experience that has allowed me to be the person I am today, and develop the way I did professionally and personally. So thank you guys for that. And maybe I'll throw one more picture up there of the doctoral program and come back and make the speech again. So last thing I want to share, I'm sorry I know I went over time. All right, last thing I want to share is that you also get to make a difference, guys. And there's a picture we took at Rowdy's camp. I'm not sure if you remember it, Jack. All right, I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but We took this picture. I remember the people at the camp kept talking about, the strings and how they're made up of all these different strings and how strong they are and how there's these little strings within them to hold people up when you're doing the high ropes courses and those things. So I can remember, I guess it was my blue color was coming out, and I decided to just write an email to the staff, everybody, and Cassie and Jessica, everybody was there, Ashley. And so I took a quick picture of it because I ran across it. I'll share this and I'll take my seat. So, found this and wanted to share with you all. This is what OFP truly represents. Description. The large red and blue string are tiny pieces of strings that unite together to form one large string. This represents OFP being that we all, professional staff members, graduate interns, student coordinators, team leaders, orientation leaders, come together as one to ensure we are meeting our mission and purpose as an office. The little white strings inside of the red and blue large string represents our UTSA community, specifically the incoming freshmen that we oriented during orientation. As a staff and unique individuals, the red-blue string, we collectively come together to provide a smooth transition for our diverse incoming student population. The white little strings inside the red and blue large string. Building these bridges for new students to walk across. The hands holding the strings signify UTSA's overall mission of enhancing student development and learning through a strong collaboration of all aspects of our beloved university. As a people of different cultures, backgrounds, and walks of life, we all foster this diverse campus community, which is also represented by the hands. Now and forever, I am a road runner, and I am also an OFP. So with that, guys, I want you guys to make sure that with this moment in time that you guys are about to have, that you break the ice, that you guys enjoy, that you guys work. Don't sleep, do not sleep. That you guys build those friendships, that you guys impact, make a difference, transition, and grow. With that, thank you guys very much.